Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklar Country, the virus edition, aka the Panty Pods,
AKA two fables, one table,
aka two dudes, no lewds,
AKA two bros, no hoes,
aka two Jews, no tattoos,
AKA two blokes, lots of jokes,
aka two Wolverines, one quarantine,
AKA two twins for the win,
aka two jerks, no Van Kirk.
Oh, that's true.
Because we're in Dan Van Kirk's kitchen. We just recorded an episode of Dumb People Town, and we are here, and we want to just take you guys away for 25 minutes.
That's right. And we appreciate all the feedback we've been getting from you guys. We are trying to, in every way, shape, or form, give you 30 minutes. 30 minutes to clean your dishes, 30 minutes to take a walk around your neighborhood, 30 minutes to sit down to yourself and hopefully
to cook, to bake bread, whatever you're doing. This is your chance to breathe and laugh a little bit. And we got some good stories.
And the world never, this is the thing, every day the world never fails to provide us with some silliness, stupidity, and definitely stuff worth commenting on. And look no further than former 1980s. He was big when we were in high school.
Oh, but we saw him in concert, Bryan Adams. Sometimes your words can cut like a knife.
Even though it feels so right.
Feels so right.
So Cuts Like a Knife came on the album before the big album.
Yeah, the big album was Summer of '69 and all that other stuff.
Right, but Cuts Like a Knife.
Cuts Like a Knife is an amazing song that was kind of gritty in that sort of, you know, it felt like his voice is amazing. Bryan Adams' voice is incredible.
Canadian, right? Oh yeah, Canadian.
Oh yeah.
Glass Tiger used him on.
He did a little thing on.
How come Glass Tiger hasn't come back from the Tiger King?
I don't know. They could have done the,
Cuts Like a Knife. Great music video. If you go back and check it out, he's singing in an empty swimming pool.
Right. She takes a dive into an empty swimming pool, which is essentially
and then
what
he's
it is.
singing at the bottom.
There's a moment when you were like, where did Bryan Adams go? And then when we had kids and you have daughters or kids and you'd watch Disney princess films and you'd hear a new Bryan Adams song, you're like, oh, there he is.
And he's right next to Phil Collins.
There they are.
Fantastic. Oh, there they are. All right. Okay.
It's never a good sign, though, when Bryan Adams has to apologize publicly for anything.
Because if you see Bryan Adams trending, if you see him trending right now,
he's either dead, has COVID,
sick, or he's apologizing for some
something.
insensitive remarks.
No one's going to be like, and in the news today, Bryan Adams hangs out in his summer home.
In the news today, Bryan Adams writes a great new song.
He was a huge star, had hits, toured the world. I mean, number one hits.
Yeah.
Number one hits. He had a lot of fans.
Had a lot of facial.
Cleared up his facial stuff, probably through Proactive. We shouldn't be.
He Edward James almost cleared it up.
We shouldn't be hearing from him in any way, shape, or form.
No,
It's certainly not for something he has to apologize for. Oof. This is bad management on what I'm going to assume is his second wife's part.
Yeah,
assuming that his second wife is also his manager. So it's bad management on his second wife, who is also manager's part.
Yes.
So Adams had to apologize to, quote, any and all people he offended for his rant about the coronavirus that many perceived to be as racist. Whether it was or whether it wasn't, you cannot be Bryan Adams. Don't be ranting. You don't need to be ranting. Or rant to your friends. The Canadian singer-songwriter faced backlash just one day earlier for seemingly blaming China for the pandemic, which, to be fair,
yes,
he could have said a pandemic whose origins appear to have come from China, and how China handled this thing potentially not being truthful with the world.
So here's the thing.
You can say all that.
You can criticize a place. You can say, I'm bummed that this happened.
You can say, look at where we're at right now.
How tragic is it that...
Where were the missteps?
Yeah. Who made mistakes along the way? We certainly have, but I'm going to point the finger at some mistakes being made in China. No one can argue with that.
Yeah.
No one can argue with you on that.
So on Monday, the 60-year-old rocker, 60, that hit me. We're not 50 yet,
that
but
cut like a knife.
Yeah, it did. In nine years, in my opinion, he can dust off the summer of '69, and it takes on a whole new meaning.
Yes,
dust it off, bring
just
it back.
A whole summer of him going on racist rants
at a drive-in movie and getting
summer of my demise.
Right.
Okay.
Oral sex. He made the headlines for lamenting about, quote, fucking bat-eating, wet market animal selling, virus-making greedy bastards who put the whole world on hold. Listen, we are all frustrated, B. Adams. We are all frustrated. Fucking bat-eating, wet market selling, were they...
Wet market is like you're dancing near some very racist That you're not even saying a racist thing, but if you're calling someone a wet marketer,
Is that a thing?
No, but I just think that sounds racist. I don't know what it is, but it's not something I would just throw
a
out
wet
there.
market is where apparently
Agreed, but to use it as a phrase to describe somebody.
But also it's wrong. Were they selling entire markets? Wet markets.
I don't know.
Wet market
It was a
selling.
wet market.
Wet market selling.
Yeah, but it
means
sounds like they're selling wet markets.
entire wet market.
Right.
He does understand the rhythm of a line. He can still the wet market selling, bat eating. I mean, like there is a rhythm and a flow to it, even if it totally doesn't make sense.
You should put it in a song. Don't put it in a rant.
Adams was frustrated because instead of being isolated at home, he was set to kick off a series of concerts in London's Royal Albert Hall.
So now we're getting down to the core of it because the guy's 60.
Right.
He's saying, all right, maybe I'm not going to have this opportunity in 3 years when we can do concerts again.
Right. Or the fact that you are still playing Royal Albert Hall, dude. You should be happy about that. That's something Glass Tiger can't do.
You're 60, bro, and you're still out there doing big shows.
All right.
That's just take stock and have gratitude for that.
Also, we get it. You're stuck in London. You wish you were in Canada. It sucks.
Is he stuck in London?
I think he says he is. It's time. Take this time to record some stuff while you're being holed up. Have your record label or someone bring
I think
over
he's
some recordings.
isolated in Canada. I think he's isolated.
Is he?
Yes, it said instead of being isolated at home, which is what he was doing, he was set to kick off a series of concerts in London. So he wanted to be out. He wanted to be doing these concerts, but instead he's isolated at home. Either way,
I'm sure he's got a studio in his house. Write something about it.
right.
My message to them, other than thanks a fucking lot, is to go vegan, he declared. Well, he did thank them. I mean, let's be honest about that. In his mea culpa, Adams wrote, "No excuse. I just wanted to have a rant about the horrible animal cruelty in these wet markets." That is not.
I don't think that's where you were going.
That is not where you were going,
You
my
don't
friend.
need to give the bad fake apology. You can say, I'm going crazy right now, and I crossed a line, and I apologize, and let me walk it back.
Being the possible source of the virus and promote veganism. You are not trying to promote veganism.
That's like the woman a few episodes ago, we were talking about like a local commissioner who was like, all this backlash I got
caused me to go
shoplift somewhere. No, it didn't.
Like he should have pivoted. That is a crazy pivot. He should have pivoted about his situation, this not being able to perform in London.
Yeah.
He should have pivoted to make it that about veganism. It's just a great point, but there's no way the wet markets of the world will switch to selling seitan. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen out there.
But he could make that argument. I guess he could say, look,
It's a convenient argument to be like, I was just railing against the mistreatment of animals. You weren't. It wasn't about the mistreatment of the quote unquote bat that got eaten.
Everything I do is for tofu.
There you go. You could
Just
change the
rewrite
song
your
for
songs,
that.
rewrite your lyrics, make them all vegan related. Do something like that.
It was the seitan of 69.
Yes.
I have love for all people, and my thoughts are with everyone dealing with the pandemic around the world. Really? That's not what you were saying when you were ranting the day before.
Maybe your wife should just control your rants or
right.
videotape them, and then you guys can watch them and decide if you want to put that out.
Tell it to your therapist. I'm sure you have one. I know you're angry, but it feels like that level of frustration isn't about
Look, if you
how many people are dying.
If you lost family members or your wife or you yourself are on death's door and you want to go ahead and have a rant,
we'll cut you some slack.
Fine. We're not going to argue with you. We're not going to be mad. If your entire fortune is down the toilet and you don't have any money left and you feel yourself dying because of this thing, you want to make a rant,
go for it.
We'll understand.
If your business is being lost, I can understand frustration that way. It feels like this is just speculation here. It feels like he's pissed because he couldn't go on his tour.
Yeah.
Adam's apology captioned an Instagram video of him acoustically performing Into the Fire, the title track from his same album released in 1987, includes the hashtags ban wet markets and go vegan, which looks like gov again. Doesn't look like gov again, like government again.
Right. Or Love Again by, who is that? Run the Jewels?
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, you can be mad at the whole wet market scene. That's fine. And call for countries like China to crack down on conditions in those markets. And you can push people to go vegan, which with meat shortages, to go to Impossible Meat and new ways to find meat.
I just made Impossible tacos the other night, and they were fantastic.
It might be the right way to go, but what are we fighting for here? His inability to go on tour? What are we fighting for here? The comments on the singer's apology post on Instagram are overwhelmingly supportive, as you would think they were.
Yes.
As they were on his initial post. No apologies required. Thanks for the mini gig number 2.
No apologies required is what Phil Collins' next album should be.
No apologies required.
Yes.
No more wet markets, all caps, added someone. Yeah, we get that. That's not, you're missing the point of the rant.
Thank you for adding that. Thank you for taking the time to comment.
You really added a lot right there. And everyone agrees with you. Wet markets should be regulated. It's just, how do we do it? Another user commented, no apologies needed. You spoke the truth. Twitter is really like where
they got upset. They got upset about this whole thing.
It's also a place where people got riled up. So on Instagram, he got the love, but on Twitter, this is the apology at Bryan Adams PR folks came up with. Perhaps they should have started with please forgive me. Yep, that is a real apology. Just like what we said the other day.
Correct.
He could have started with please forgive me, my outburst, my outburst. Here's where it came from.
Just say I'm sorry. Start with I'm sorry, and then you can give the reasons after.
Feels like that would have garnered more support, right?
Agreed. Anytime you start pivoting and trying to make it about something that you didn't directly say, you're making the non-apology apology, and I don't like it.
And I'm going to say this. Come on, you're Bryan Adams, not Ryan Adams.
We still kind of can have faith in you.
Let's do the right thing here. And let's do the right thing here and take a break, shall we?
Agreed.
We'll take a little bit of a break, and when we come back, again, the music we should say, the music that plays under the Spotify ad at the beginning is our buddy Brendan, who is the sound engineer on this podcast. So props to him for that instrumental. And then all the other music is from our friends Detroit, the band from Minneapolis from the 90s. They're fantastic. No longer.
They were great.
They were amazing, but no longer. But we like to keep the spirit of them alive. We'll see you after this break. No voicemail today, but we'll be back with those coming up soon. We'll see you on the other side.
Let me tell you, son, your jello's looking running. Jello catastrophe, and that ain't funny. And you said,
hey guys, welcome back to the show. Sklar Brothers here. I want to remind people, go to our YouTube page, subscribe to it. If you're listening to this podcast, you will enjoy extra content on our YouTube page.
Everyone listen to this podcast. You can see the videos of us doing this podcast. We have we're going to release every Saturday a new 5-minute episode of Held Up, which was our web series that we did. So fun with so many great people we did for Crackle. Nick Kroll was in it. Tig Notaro's in it. Caitlin Olsen's in it. John Doerr. Susie Nakamura. Harmar Superstar. Sam Levine.
Chris Cox, Maria Bamford,
Jessica Chaffin, like
Eddie Pepitone.
So many great people, and we're in it, and it's just a blast. So that's going to be every Saturday. We're going to release those on the YouTube page. New videos, stick around, tool around on there. It's so much fun. In the break, Dan told us
that Please Forgive Me is a Bryan Adams song.
Yeah, and I can't believe the lyric that starts, please forgive me.
All right.
Okay. My heart is in your hands, and I'll be missing you. Because you know it's you, babe.
That sticks.
I know, I'm just kidding. I just want to rile Jay. Dan loves that I was riling Jay up. Riling him up.
All right, people have too much time on their hands.
Speaking of sticks,
too much time on my...
That actually was Bryan Adams. Just kidding. If we need to, I think right now, and this is something I really do believe, that we need to seriously start teaching people to have hobbies.
Do a hard puzzle.
Whatever that is.
Do a difficult puzzle.
If you're not dealing with heavy health symptoms.
I think I'm going to start a hard puzzle at my house.
Okay, that's it.
No joke. Hard
puzzle.
Get
some hobbies. There will be more pandemics in the future. We're going to have to lock down again. This is going to be part of our lives moving forward. You need to have a hobby. That's all I'm saying, because time is bad. Start needlepointing.
Yes.
That's a great thing.
When we were kids, Randy and I, we wanted to buy these needlepoint kits as kids that our
parents, little boys would do. You want needlepoint,
and our mom and our parents said no, mainly because they didn't want to fork over like $4.99.
It was ridiculous.
They're like, it's a waste of money. But I get it now as a parent. Like, it's fun to say no to your kids.
Yeah, they're like,
even if you're like, can
I could pay for that, but it's no.
We got to say no once in a while. They can't get everything they want.
Can I get this new phone case?
No,
it's $6, but no. You already have one.
Yeah, I'm just going to say no.
That was what our parents did.
So they said no. So they said no to the thing. What we did is we went behind their backs, and because we were rebels, and we used our own money
and bought these needlepointing.
Ordered needlepointing kits. Then when the needlepointing kits came, We had to hide them from our parents.
Basically needle pointing in secret.
Right.
In like needle pointing in the closet, so to speak. Didn't want to come out as
I think I literally did needlepoint in a closet.
You don't want to come out as, and then you hid it in the closet. You just didn't want to come out as needle pointers to your parents, and they couldn't know that how we got it.
Right. Because they had said no. So it was a direct defiance of their needle pointing edict in our lives.
It was a needle pointing like
We were in a
line in the sand.
Drawn by a needle.
Drawn by a needle.
With yarn attached to it. So my little needle pointing pillow, and they were small pillows. Like you can't even call it a throw pillow.
Smaller than this screen.
It was like a toss pillow. I think it's like this big.
Yeah.
Mine was a dog with a bone in its mouth.
Brown dog with a white bone in its mouth.
And Randy's was
and with a yellow background.
Right.
Mine was a football, which is the exact same colors as the dog with the bone.
Brown, yellow, and white.
That's right.
And the laces were white, yellow background, diagonal
football on a diagonal.
You know how the one thing that goes hand in hand with needle pointing
is football. Right.
It's nothing more American than that. So we finished these needle pointing things, and because we didn't want our parents to know that we had gotten them, which I'm sure they knew that we were doing. Like, what are you guys doing in there? You're like, nothing.
Masturbating.
Looking at porn.
Yeah.
Definitely not needle pointing.
We're not needle pointing.
Nobody's needle pointing.
Nobody is needle pointing in here.
We didn't ask if you were needle pointing. Yeah, well, we're not.
No one's needle pointing. Okay.
But just keep the door locked. So we then, the second part of the needle pointing kit is you had to find a fabric that fit along the back of the needle point so you can make a pillow out of it. Because we weren't going to frame them and hang them up.
No.
That would have been too much like an in-your-face move.
Yeah.
So we were going to make them pillows and kind of sneak them in with the pillows, and hopefully our parents wouldn't notice. So we found fabric, which was I believe old wallpaper.
Old wallpaper that we used, and we sewed it in. But then you had to keep one end open and use stuffing,
Which we
didn't have pillow stuffing.
we didn't have the wherewithal. We couldn't ask our parents to go get pillow stuffing.
It's not like we were going to run up to Michael's and pick up some pillow stuffing.
We were like 9 years old, 10 years old. So instead, we decided to stuff these tiny little toss pillows with
old underwear. So tighty-whitey underwear.
So stuffed into these tiny pillows,
Old underwear.
was our old, disgusting, ratty
underwear.
10-year-old underwear. And the pillows smelled terrible. They didn't look great. They were lumpy. It wasn't like a comfortable thing. And so in the end, our parents kind of won.
They won. They're like, you suffered and you will continue to suffer by going behind our backs on this.
But the truth is,
it was a hobby.
And we had a hobby, and no one ever can say about us that we're not rebels.
Right.
If you say no to us,
we point
get ready to have us needle point in a completely discreet way.
We'll needle point to an example that will show you that we did it right. So you can needle point. You can
needle us, but we're going to point to what we did.
You can do a hard puzzle. You can get into Sudoku, that knife game where you spread your hand and then you quickly.
Although I was putting 4 holes in a baked potato the other day, and I hit my finger
and you just started bleeding.
I felt like it was going to fall off.
Stamp collecting. Bigfoot enthusiasm. Get into Bigfoot.
Watch a lot of, Nailed It or Making the Cut.
Making the Cut with Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn on Amazon. Because if you have too much time, the dummies...
This is where they start to do dumb things. The dumb brain starts to race, and you're not just doing needle pointing, you're doing things way worse.
Like this man in Michigan. A lot of dumb stuff has been happening in Michigan.
Which, by the way, I wondered if our parents thought that our needle pointing was like a gateway move.
Into what?
Afghan making.
Yeah.
Quilt.
Sweaters.
Quilting.
A Michigan man is facing charges after officials say that he tweeted a bomb threat to the Federal Bureau of Investigation under his Twitter profile. Get a hobby. Get a hobby.
This can never be traced back to me. Tweet.
The tweet was sent on May 11th from a user account at JT616K.
I'll never forget where I was on 5/11.
The user threatened to detonate 10 bombs and said that the FBI had until 8 o'clock to find him.
No way to find him, though.
Four-wheeling. That's a fun hobby.
Yeah.
You can do it on your own.
Up close magic.
By the way, if you're sending out that tweet, expect to have a boot on your neck when they find you in 30 minutes.
Because 10 bombs is a real threat.
That's like a military level style of an attack on an entire city.
Yeah.
10 bombs? According to the Detroit News, investigators traced the user's cell phone to 20-year-old Joseph Todd Kowalczyk in Parkway Village Mobile Home Park in Citizen Township. Did they not think they'd be able to track him?
Did they not think he was going to be in a mobile home?
If he was in a mobile home, did he feel like he'd be able to outrun it? Although the mobile home is not on wheels in its own part.
If I was in a mobile home, I'd move my house.
He's probably like, well, I don't pay taxes here, so there's probably no way they can trace me.
This is like the logic of when your 6-year-old just closes their eyes in a game of hide and seek.
It's like, you can't find me.
No, the police aren't going to play along. They're not your dad. They're going to get you.
The following day, agents contacted Kowalczyk, who reportedly told agents that he was testing the government and was upset with the FBI's response.
I was waiting for you to call.
There you are. Kowalczyk, to me, is like a mixed up of Kaczynski.
It's a lot. There's a K that starts the name, and then there's a lot of consonants
and a Z, and then another K. If you have that configuration of letters, you're gonna have a manifesto or send out bomb threats. That's just gonna happen.
Escape it. That's part of your wake-up. Yeah.
He was testing the FBI. Hey, nobody asked you to test it.
Yeah.
The FBI didn't ask you to test it.
They can test themselves.
That's right.
They can test their own stuff.
Run diagnostic tests. Maybe run a diagnostic test on your compact computer, okay? That's a test that you can run. Furthermore, he claimed that he did not intend to carry out acts of violence against anyone and did not own any weapons or explosive devices, one of the FBI agents wrote in the court filing. I'm sure there are people in this guy's sphere who thought he would do something like this.
Right.
Like it was only a matter of time before this guy was going to do that. You can now more than ever, you cannot threaten people. That's
Randy and I have said this on this podcast. You can't even say, boy, it'd be a shame if that Gelson's on the corner blew up.
You can't.
You cannot
even
say
if
that.
you think it would be a shame.
You can't even joke about that. You can't even outwardly say, don't.
Kowalczyk stated that he would not post anything in the future. Oh, come on. I wanted to hear his thoughts on Anthony Fauci.
Yes.
I really did. Or why this Wisconsin Supreme Court denied the governor's stay-at-home policy. I want to hear what this guy has to say about that. I feel like I have a ton of good thoughts.
Great thoughts.
Yeah, a ton.
Yeah.
It'd be explosive, his thoughts.
Yes.
Kowalczyk continued tweeting about and taunting the FBI throughout the day before he was eventually arrested. Hey, you know what the FBI loves?
They love being taunted by a man in a mobile home.
Yeah, just like when the cops catch you, like stop you or pull you over, they love to chase
arrest.
you. They love that. They laugh about it. They brush it off. They don't even consider it.
They're like, let's go lighter on this guy. He just made us run around for no reason.
He's so funny.
He's taunting us.
There can't be any part of him that thought he would get away with it. Am I right, Jay?
No.
You can't. You can taunt your neighbor in your mobile home. You can taunt the old guy in the mobile home park 3 rows over who has not gotten up from his lawn folding chair in the last 30 years.
Since the Bush administration, the first Bush administration.
You can taunt that guy, but the FBI may take it a little more personally.
So what did he get charged with?
Transmitting a threat to injure, a criminal charge punishable by up to 5 years in prison.
That seems too little.
Too little, right? 5 years is like, all right. But it feels like there are
he didn't
people
have any explosives. He didn't use any explosives.
True, but I feel like there are people
threat.
in prison on weed charges from the 90s who have been serving longer
I'm all
time.
for it. Let's make it an example out of him.
Just go away.
Put him in there for 50 years.
Here's my only fear, and this is how we'll end it up, is that he's in there for 5 years and he develops a hobby.
And the hobby is bomb making.
That would be the worst.
Because there are other dudes in there that can be like, how'd you make, let me show you how to, you were joking about
Just
it?
some Elmer's glue and a toothpick.
And you're like, no,
don't do
this
it.
is not good. All right, that's a show. We appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah, love you guys. Thank you for subscribing to this. Punch a water faucet, then go wash your hands. Stay socially distanced.
But stay connected. Don't get infected and stay protected.
We love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da-da.